All right. Ready to dive deep into a classic.
Let's do it.
Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Ah, a classic.
I bet you're thinking,
Yeah.
heard it all before.
Right.
But trust me, Covey's work, it's so much more than just a list of good habits.
I agree with that.
It's a blueprint, really. A life guided by principles, not just fleeting trends, you know?
That's what makes it so enduring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though, think about it.
Okay.
The book came out when, like, personality ethics,
Right.
quick fixes, outward appearances. That was all the rage back then.
Yeah.
Covey
Yeah.
went against the grain.
Okay, so before we get to the habits themselves, unpack this whole thing for me.
Sure.
Personality ethics versus character ethics.
Okay. So
What's the core difference?
imagine 2 buildings.
Okay.
One, flashy facade, but the foundation is shaky.
Right.
The other
Yeah.
might look simpler on the outside,
Okay.
but it's built on solid bedrock.
Oh, I like that.
Covey's argument.
Yeah.
True effectiveness. It comes from building your life on those bedrock principles.
Yeah.
You know, fairness, integrity, honesty.
Right.
That's character ethics.
So it's not about putting on a show.
Now,
It's about who you are at your core.
exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put this into practice? Where do we even begin?
Well, that's where the habits come in.
Okay.
The very first one, the foundation of it all,
Yeah.
is being proactive.
Okay, proactivity. I'll admit.
Okay.
When I first encountered this concept, I thought, yeah, take initiative. I get it.
Right.
But Covey takes it much deeper.
He does.
Doesn't he?
Deeper than just taking action.
Okay.
He uses that example.
Which one?
Viktor Frankl,
Right?
the psychologist
Yeah.
who endured the horrors,
I know him.
Nazi concentration camps.
Oh, well.
Even in that situation,
Right.
Frankl realized he still had the power
Wow.
to choose his response,
Powerful.
his attitude.
Wow, that's a powerful example.
It is.
But that was an extreme situation. How does that translate
What?
to everyday life?
Good question.
Sometimes it feels like
Yeah.
zero control over what happens to me,
I see.
you know?
That's where Covey's idea
Okay.
of circle of influence comes in.
Okay.
It's about recognizing what you can control, your actions, your attitude,
Right.
and letting go of
Oh.
what you can't.
Okay.
It's not about ignoring those external factors,
Right.
but about focusing your energy
Yeah.
where it matters most.
So even when things feel chaotic,
Yes.
there's always something we can control.
Always.
That's actually quite empowering.
It is.
It reminds me of something I struggle with.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Setting goals.
Hmm.
I often get
Oh.
overwhelmed.
Yeah. I hear you.
And give up before I even start? Is that where habit 2 comes in?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
Habit 2, begin with the end in mind.
Right.
Covey argues that most of us, we're driven by urgency,
Okay.
reacting to what's right in front of us.
Oh, that's me.
But by consciously envisioning your ideal outcome,
Okay.
you become the architect of your life.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
He even suggests that somewhat morbid exercise, right?
It does. He does.
Imagining your own funeral,
Right.
what you want people to say about you.
Exactly.
I mean,
It might sound a bit dark,
yeah, a little bit.
but it forces you
Yeah,
to confront what truly matters.
right.
What kind of legacy
Yeah.
do you want to leave behind? What values
Oh,
will
dude.
guide your choices?
It's like creating a roadmap
It is, yeah.
for your life.
Yeah.
Based not on
Right.
external pressures, but on your own deepest values.
That's it.
It's about making intentional choices,
Yes.
not just reacting to whatever comes your way.
Exactly.
So true.
And that sets the stage.
Right.
Habit 3.
Okay.
Put first things first.
Oh, yes.
Covey
Yes.
gives us
Yeah.
this brilliant tool, the time management matrix,
Okay.
to help us actually live out
Yeah.
those priorities.
Yes, the 4 quadrants.
You got it.
Oh,
All right.
I remember when I
Mhm.
first learned about this,
Yeah.
I felt like my mind was blown.
It's powerful.
It is.
Help us connect the dots here.
Okay.
How does this matrix
Yeah.
tie back the first 2 habits?
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay.
Being proactive
Yeah.
gives you the power to choose,
Right.
having a clear vision,
Right.
beginning with the end in mind,
Yep.
gives you a direction
Okay.
to move in the time management matrix.
Yeah.
It's the tool that helps you actually walk that path
Okay.
day by day.
I'm starting to see the connections here. But let's unpack this matrix a little more.
Sure.
I remember struggling to figure out which tasks actually belong in each quadrant.
Right.
How do we know what to prioritize?
It all comes down to understanding the difference between urgency and importance.
Right.
Covey argues that we should focus quadrant 2, tasks that are important but not urgent.
This is where things like planning, personal development, building relationships often fall, right?
Absolutely.
Things we know we should be doing.
Yes.
But somehow never seem to find the time for...
It's a common trap.
It is.
We get so caught up in the urgent putting out fires.
Yeah.
We neglect the truly important.
Right.
But those quadrant 2 activities, they're the key to long-term growth and fulfillment.
It's like investing in your future self.
It is.
Yeah. Knowing this and actually doing it, two different things.
I hear you.
What are some practical tips?
Well, one of the most powerful things you can do, schedule those quadrant 2 activities in your calendar.
Okay.
Just like you would any important appointment.
Oh, that's a great tip.
It is,
Make it non-negotiable.
Right.
Like a meeting with your most important client.
Exactly.
Yourself.
Yeah.
That's good.
It might require saying no to some things.
Right.
Delegating tasks.
Yeah.
Or simply being more disciplined with your time. But remember, prioritizing those quadrant 2 activities. You're ultimately saying yes. Your long-term goals and well-being.
Like that quote.
Oh, yeah.
The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities.
Absolutely.
And that proactive mindset we talked about earlier, crucial here.
It is, yeah.
It's about taking ownership of your time and making conscious choices about how you spend it.
That's the key.
This is really starting to make sense.
Good, good.
We've got the foundation of proactivity.
Yes.
The compass of our personal vision.
Right.
And now the tools to actually manage our time and energy.
You got it.
But how do we navigate those interactions with others?
That's where the next set of habits come in.
Okay.
And they build beautifully upon the foundation we've already established.
All right. I'm ready to dive into those.
Great.
But let's save that for part 2.
Sounds good.
Of our deep dive.
All right.
We've given our listeners a lot to chew on already.
Indeed. But this is just the beginning. We'll be back. After a short break.
All right.
To explore the next level of effectiveness.
Oh, I like that.
Mastering those crucial interpersonal skills.
I'm ready. Welcome back to our deep dive
into the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yeah.
We've been laying the groundwork with the first 3 habits, focusing on personal effectiveness. Now, things get really interesting.
I agree.
As we move into the realm of how we interact with others.
That's right. You're absolutely right. These next few habits they build upon that foundation of proactivity, vision, and prioritization, showing us how to become more effective in our relationships, both personal and professional.
And the first one up is habit 4.
Okay, which one is that?
Think win-win.
Ah, yes.
Now, I have to admit, this one always sounded a bit idealistic to me.
Oh, how so?
Is it really possible to create win-win situations all the time?
That's a common misconception.
Oh, okay.
What Covey's really advocating for is a paradigm shift instead of approaching interactions
as zero-sum games, where one person's gain is another's loss.
Okay.
He encourages us to seek solutions that benefit both parties.
So it's about collaboration.
Yes.
And finding creative solutions.
Absolutely.
That meet everyone's needs.
Yes.
Not just our own.
That's right.
But that requires a fundamental shift in thinking, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It requires moving away from that scarcity mindset where we see everything as limited and competitive. Covey argues there's often more than enough to go around.
Right.
And by focusing on shared interests, we can create solutions that are truly mutually beneficial.
That makes sense. But I imagine it's easier said than done.
I agree.
Especially when you're dealing with people who are stuck in that win-lose mentality.
Absolutely. That's where habit 5 comes in.
Okay, what is it?
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Right.
This habit. It's all about empathetic listening. Truly putting ourselves the other person's shoes before trying to make our point.
I love that quote from Covey.
Oh, yeah.
Which one? Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply.
It's so true, isn't it? You're often so focused on our own agenda, we don't truly hear what the other person is saying.
And that's where so much miscommunication and conflict arises.
Exactly.
But when we take the time to really listen, not just with our ears, but with our hearts, we open up the possibility for genuine understanding and connection.
Absolutely. But how do we become more empathetic listeners? Especially when emotions are running high. I know I tend to get defensive and interrupt.
I get
when I feel like I'm being attacked or misunderstood.
It's a skill.
It is.
That takes practice. But one powerful technique is to simply paraphrase what the other person has said to ensure you've understood their perspective.
Exactly.
It forces you to slow down. Pay attention. Resist the urge. Jump in with your own thoughts.
It's about putting aside your own ego. Really trying to see the world through their eyes.
That's challenging.
It is.
But incredibly valuable skill.
I agree.
Wouldn't you say?
It is. And it lays the groundwork, effective communication and collaboration when both parties feel heard and understood. It creates a much more conducive environment, finding win-win solutions.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It's like creating a bridge of understanding between two different perspectives.
That's a good way to put it.
And that brings us to habit 6.
Okay, which one's that?
Synergize.
Synergize.
This is about taking that collaboration to the next level.
It is.
Isn't it?
Covey describes synergy as the principle that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
I like that.
It's about recognizing when people with diverse perspectives and talents come together, they can achieve far more they ever could individually.
I love the analogy.
Oh, which one?
He uses of geese flying in formation.
Yes.
By working together in a coordinated way.
They're able to fly much farther and more efficiently.
Exactly.
And that same principle applies to human interactions.
It does.
Whether we're working on a team project, solving a complex problem, or even just planning a family vacation. When we leverage each other's strengths, value those differences, we can create truly extraordinary results.
We can.
But true synergy requires more than just working alongside each other.
It does. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels safe to contribute their ideas, even if they're different from the norm.
It requires a high level of trust and respect, a willingness to listen to and learn from each other, and a shared commitment. The common good.
Exactly.
It sounds like.
Synergy is the ultimate expression of interdependence. Recognizing that we achieve more together than we ever could.
Alone. You've hit the nail on the head. And it's this understanding of interdependence that leads us beautifully into the final habit.
Okay, what's that?
Habit 7. Sharpen the saw.
Yes.
The habit of renewal.
It's a reminder that we can't keep giving and giving without taking the time to replenish our own resources.
Exactly. Covey emphasizes the importance of taking care of ourselves across 4 dimensions.
Okay, which ones?
Physical, mental, emotional, social.
And spiritual.
Okay. It's about recognizing that we're holistic beings. And neglecting any one of these dimensions ultimately undermines our effectiveness.
It does.
In all areas of life.
Yes, precisely.
It's like that saying, oh yeah.
You can't pour from an empty cup if we're constantly running on fumes. We're not going to be able to show up fully for ourselves, for others.
That's true.
And sharpening the saw isn't just about preventing burnout. It's about proactively investing our own growth and well-being expanding our capacity to live, love, learn, and contribute.
Exactly.
So what are some practical ways we can sharpen the saw in each of these dimensions?
Well, physically, it's about nourishing our bodies through things like exercise, healthy eating, and getting enough sleep.
Okay. What about mentally?
Mentally, it's about keeping our minds sharp and engaged through reading, learning new skills, and challenging our perspective.
Okay, that makes sense.
Emotionally,
socially,
it's about nurturing our relationships, cultivating genuine connection, and contributing to our communities.
Okay.
And spiritually, it's about connecting with something larger than ourselves, whether through nature, meditation, or engaging with our own sense of purpose and meaning.
Those are great examples.
They are, yeah.
It's about creating a holistic approach to self-care.
Exactly.
That nourishes all aspects of our being.
But it's so easy to let these things slip.
Well, I know.
Especially when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Any tips? Making self-renewal a consistent priority. One helpful strategy is to schedule these activities into your week, just like you would any other important appointment. Make it non-negotiable time for yourself, even if it's just
for 15 minutes a day. That's great advice. Schedule it in, make it a habit, and watch the positive ripple effects flow into all areas of your life. They do. We've covered all 7 habits now. We have. And I have to say, I'm feeling incredibly inspired. Good. I'm glad. It's amazing how these seemingly simple principles can have such a profound impact on how we live and interact with the world.
I agree. And what's so powerful about Covey's framework, it's not just about individual success. It's about creating a better world. Through personal and collective transformation.
That's a perfect segue to the final part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
I'm curious to explore how these habits can be applied on a larger scale, not just in our personal lives, but also in our communities, organizations, even society as a whole.
I'm excited to delve into that with you.
Okay.
But for now, let's give our listeners a moment to reflect. Everything we've discussed so far. We've covered a lot of ground. But there's still so much more to discover. Join us for the final part of our deep dive. Where we'll explore the lasting legacy of Stephen Covey's work. And its potential to shape a more effective and fulfilling future.
For all of us?
For us all.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
It's great to be back.
We've been exploring, the timeless wisdom
of Stephen Covey's.
The 7 habits of highly effective people. From personal mastery to, the art of synergy.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about individual growth, is it?
That's what's so fascinating about his work. It's not just a self-help book.
No.
It's a social manifesto. He truly believed. These principles could transform not only individual lives, but also families, organizations, even entire societies.
I remember when I first read the book, being struck by that story he tells.
Which one?
About the manager who applied the 7 habits to his team. The results were astonishing.
They were.
Productivity went up, morale soared, and everyone felt more empowered and engaged.
That's the power of these principles in action.
It is.
They create a culture of trust, respect, and collaboration, which ultimately leads to greater effectiveness and fulfillment for everyone involved.
It's like shifting,
it is,
the entire operating system from one based on competition and control to one based on collaboration and shared success, but I imagine it's not always easy.
It can be challenging to implement these habits on a larger scale.
Where do you even begin?
Well, Covey emphasizes that it starts the individual. You can't create a win-win culture if you're not embodying those principles yourself.
So it's not about imposing these habits on others.
At all.
But about inspiring them to embrace them through your own actions and attitude.
Exactly.
Like that saying,
Which one?
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
I like that one.
And as more individuals within a group or organization begin to adopt these habits, it creates a momentum that can be truly transformative.
It can.
It's like a chain reaction of positive change.
Makes me think about the habit of seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Right.
Imagine applying that principle, conflict resolution, on a global scale.
Wow, that's interesting.
Instead of jumping to conclusions, demonizing the other side, what if we took the time to truly listen and try to see the world through their eyes?
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
Empathetic listening is a foundational skill for building bridges of understanding, whether it's between individuals, communities, or even nations.
It's about recognizing our shared humanity, even amidst our differences.
I think that's where the habit of synergize comes in.
It does. It does. It's about valuing those differences, recognizing that we can achieve far more together than we ever could alone.
And that requires, a certain level of humility, doesn't it?
A willingness. Let go of the need to be right all the time. And embrace the possibility that someone else might have a better idea.
You're absolutely right.
Humility is essential, both seeking understanding and synergizing.
It's about recognizing that we don't have all the answers.
That's right.
That we can learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And that the best solutions often emerge a collective effort.
Exactly.
Of course.
Right.
None of this is possible without that foundation of personal responsibility, that proactive mindset we talked about earlier.
That's the key.
If we're not taking ownership of our own lives, our own choices, how can we possibly hope to shape a better world?
You've hit the nail on the head.
Thanks.
Proactivity is the key that unlocks the door to all the other habits.
I like that.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passive bystanders. We're active participants in creating the reality we experience.
That's empowering.
It is. It is.
To realize we have the power to choose our response, to shape our own destinies, and to contribute something larger than ourselves.
And that brings us full circle to the habit of sharpen the saw.
It does.
Because ultimately, our ability to make a positive impact on the world depends on our own well-being, our own capacity to grow and evolve.
If we're not taking care of ourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, we're not going to have the energy, the resilience, or the inspiration to make a real difference.
It's a reminder that self-care isn't selfish. It's a prerequisite for effective action.
We need to replenish our own reserves. So that we can continue, give, to contribute, to create a better world.
Absolutely.
For ourselves and for generations to come.
Beautifully said.
Covey often emphasized.
He did.
These habits are not just a one-time fix. They're a lifelong journey of continuous growth and improvement.
It's a process of constantly sharpening the saw, refining our skills, deepening our understanding, and expanding our capacity. Leave and lead with principle.
It's a call to action, isn't it?
It is.
An invitation. Become lifelong learners. To embrace challenges and opportunities of personal and collective transformation.
Stephen Covey's work. It's left an indelible mark.
On the world.
On the world.
Inspiring millions to strive for greater effectiveness and fulfillment.
His legacy continues to remind us that true success is not just about what we achieve, but about who we become the process.
And the journey towards a more effective and fulfilling life. It's one that we embark on together.
Absolutely.
Supporting and inspiring each other.
Along the way.
Along the way.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we encourage you to reflect on the 7 habits. To identify the one that resonates most deeply with you right now. And to take that first step, that first proactive action towards making it a part of your life.
This has been a great deep dive.
It has.
I've learned so much.
Me too.
Thanks for joining me.
It's been my pleasure.
Until next time.
So long.